everyone, sorry, I lied to you just now. Song Yunfei was secretly shocked. Liu Moke was so fast, he had already investigated Chu Jinin's identity thoroughly. However, for now, it seemed he had only uncovered information about Chu Jinin in Qingcheng and hadn't found his true identity yet. Even more coincidentally, the person he went to was actually Wu Wei. Song Yunfei sighed helplessly. Yeah, did you tell him about Chu Jinin's real identity? I didn't. I'm checking with you first, aren't I? This whole situation is a mess. Should I tell him? Song Yunfei pondered for a moment, hesitating. She felt like more and more people were finding out, and her sense of crisis was growing stronger. But as things stood, if they didn't say anything, Liu Moke might find someone else to teach Chu Jinin a lesson. After a moment of silence, Song Yunfei steeled herself. Fine, tell him then. But I have a feeling he won't believe it. Not everyone was like Wu Wei, believing things so easily. Wu Wei chuckled. It's fine, I'll just try telling him and see. Alright, but you know Chu Jinin doesn't want his identity exposed. I know. I'll make it clear to President Liu. I guarantee no third person will find out. That's fine then. After hanging up, Song Yunfei felt a slight sense of relief. She hoped Liu Moke would believe Wu Wei, though the possibility was slim. If it were her, and someone told her the guy next door was some big shot, she might not believe it either. Regardless, she had to make money as soon as possible, or she wouldn't even have the travel expenses to run away when the time came. She had already decided that once she got paid, she would buy a computer and take on design commissions after work to earn extra cash. As for the real estate sales job, she'd at least get the 3-month base salary first. With that thought, she quickened her pace and headed toward old Madam Chen's house. When she arrived at old Madam Chen's door, she found a girl about her age knocking. The girl was dressed simply and was carrying a suitcase, looking like a recent college graduate. Seeing Song Yunfei, she looked her up and down. Are you here to see my aunt too? Song Yunfei blanked for a second, then told a white lie guiltily. Oh, yes, I'm from the community office, here to check on the elderly. Hearing she was from the community office, the girl immediately became enthusiastic. I see, then I'll thank you on my aunt's behalf. You're welcome. Is she not home? Just as she finished speaking, the door opened. When old Madam Chen saw the girl, her face showed surprise, followed by joy. Woman, why are you back? Woman smiled and said, Auntie, did you forget? I've graduated. I came to see you as soon as I could. Old Madam Chen paused for a moment before hurriedly pulling her into the house. Then, she saw Song Yunfei standing nearby, and her expression immediately darkened. Why are you here again? Song Yunfei hurriedly said, Grandma, I'm just here to visit you. I don't mean anything else. Don't worry, I'm not here to ask you to sell the house. Woman looked at her suspiciously. Aren't you from the community office? Song Yunfei felt embarrassed. Hearing the words, community office, the old lady seemed to think of something. Although her face remained stern, her tone wasn't as cold as before. Then come in. Song Yunfei breathed a sigh of relief and stepped inside. The old lady went into the room and brought out a plate of oranges and 2 cartons of milk, placing one carton in front of Song Yunfei with a stern face. Song Yunfei rubbed her nose, thinking to herself that the old lady really was cold on the outside but kind on the inside. But when she picked it up, she accidentally caught a glimpse of the production date. It had expired 3 months ago. At that moment, woman said from the side, Auntie, this milk has expired. Why are you still keeping it? It seemed she wasn't being targeted on purpose. The old lady just didn't know the milk had expired. The old lady picked up the milk and turned it over and over, looking a bit dazed. She murmured, I only bought this when you came back for the Dragon Boat Festival last time. How could it be expired already? Woman suddenly choked up, her eyes filled with emotion. Auntie, were you keeping it specifically for me? The old lady regretfully put the milk back on the table and pretended not to care. I'm old and can't handle these things. Forget it, don't drink it if it's expired, lest you get an upset stomach. Woman remained silent, seemingly holding back tears. Song Yunfei was also somewhat moved. For a moment, she felt as if she was seeing her own grandmother again. Auntie, I've graduated now and found a company to work for. Once I've settled in, I'll take you to live with me. I'll take care of you from now on. Hearing this, tears also shimmered in the old lady's eyes. All right, then I'll be waiting. She spoke casually, clearly not taking her niece's words seriously. Song Yunfei felt it wasn't appropriate for her to stay, so she stood up to leave. Grandma Chen, I'll head out now. I'll come see you another day. Wait a moment, the old lady suddenly called out to her. Song Yunfei paused and turned back to look at the old woman. The old lady pointed to a pile of things in the corner, the rice and oil Song Yunfei had bought previously, still unopened. Take these with you. Song Yunfei played dumb. Grandma Chen, please don't give me things. How could I possibly take your belongings? The old lady said with a cold face, I know you are the one who sent them. I said I'm not selling, and I mean it. Don't try to get close to me, I won't take your things. Song Yunfei was a bit helpless. I didn't say I wanted to buy it. You really misunderstood. Auntie, what's going on? Woman asked from the side, looking completely confused, then turned to Song Yunfei as if asking for an explanation. Song Yunfei could only explain sheepishly, sorry, I lied to you just now. I'm actually a real estate agent. Woman stood up abruptly. Song Yunfei hurriedly said, but I'm really not here to persuade Grandma Chen to sell the house. I also know what Mr. Wu is planning, so don't worry, I will definitely not help him in his wicked schemes. I'm currently handling this matter. To prevent my manager from sending someone else to bother you, I come by occasionally to follow up. With this explanation, both of their expressions softened a bit. The old lady still didn't quite believe her. Are you really not here to persuade me? Song Yunfei nodded solemnly. Really? The old lady stared at her for a moment and finally believed her. In that case, don't leave yet. Stay for a meal. After saying that, whether as a test or because she felt bad about taking things for free, the old lady added, since you're the one who sent those things anyway. Song Yunfei was delighted and nodded repeatedly. Okay, thank you, Grandma Chen. But those really weren't sent by me. The old lady stared at her for a while, unsure if she believed her, then turned to tend to the vegetables she had planted in the yard. Woman started chatting with Song Yunfei, asking about the situation with the house. Song Yunfei told her the truth. Upon learning what her cousin had done, Woman clenched her fists in anger. Auntie really raised an ungrateful wolf. But as she spoke, her confidence waned, and her face filled with guilt. It's all my fault. I've burdened Auntie. Song Yunfei was surprised. Why would you say that? Woman told her that she had two younger brothers. Because her family's financial situation was poor, her parents wanted her to go out and work after graduating from middle school. But even though she had excellent grades, ranking in the top 10 of her grade, they wouldn't let her continue her studies. So she ran away to her aunt's place. When her aunt found out, she didn't hesitate to use her meager savings to let her continue her education. Without her aunt, she might be working on an assembly line in some factory right now. It was precisely because of this that her cousin's resentment toward the old lady grew even deeper. Although she hadn't taken any more money from her aunt since graduating from college. But Wu Qin had sent his two children over without providing a cent for their living expenses, and he always used the fact that she had supported Woman's education to shut the old lady up. Woman's face was full of self-reproach. Even though she's just my aunt, in my heart, she's closer to me than my own mother. Chapter 52. Since when have you and that Wu guy been so close? In a certain office. Liu Moke slammed his teacup onto the executive desk with a bang and glanced at Wu Wei, who was sitting across from him. President Chu, and I'm the Jade Emperor. Liu Moke's face fat trembled with rage as he pointed at Wu Wei's nose and cursed, "Do you fucking think I, Liu Moke, am an idiot? A delivery boy, a handyman in a crappy factory, can fucking become President Chu? At least make your lies believable. What? How much did that kid pay you to come here and put on a show for me? If you can fucking do the job, do it, if not, then get the hell out." The more he spoke, the angrier he got. He felt the half of his face that had been slapped stinging even more. Wu Wei's words made him feel like he was being played for a fool. Liu Moke raised his hand again and pointed at the middle-aged man next to Wu Wei. "And you, Wu Tianming, what kind of trash did you find? A cowardly bullshitter who can't even handle this little bit of business. I think you should fucking quit too." Both of them shrunk their necks as they were scolded. Wu Wei thought to himself, what did Chu Jinan do to piss this pig off so much? Wu Tianming didn't know the situation and didn't dare to talk back to his boss, so he could only turn around and smack the back of Wu Wei's head. "You're usually so capable, but when I ask you to do something, you're fucking." Wu Wei said indignantly, "Manager Liu, everything I said is true. It was that Song Yunfei, that woman he's seeing, who told me personally. Also, a good friend of mine's cousin." Before he could finish, Liu Moke interrupted, "Stop fucking bullshitting me. That slut from the sales office, you believe whatever she says. Was your brain crushed by a nutcracker? A real estate agent hanging out with a poor loser, what the hell would she know? I bet that kid knows he's in trouble and had his woman make up lies to scare people. I've seen plenty of these low-life tricks. If I say I'm going to deal with him, I'm going to deal with him. Even if he's the king of heaven himself, he'd better behave himself here in Kangcheng." After venting his anger, Liu Moke's mood calmed down slightly. Wu Wei opened his mouth, wanting to say that even if the guy wasn't President Chu, he was still a very good fighter. Wu Wei had been in his share of fights, but last time, he didn't even have a chance to strike back against Chu Jinan. But seeing Liu Moke's face full of rage, he swallowed his words. Regardless of the truth, Wu Wei didn't want to provoke Chu Jinan. He said sheepishly, "Manager Liu, then, do you still need me to go?" Liu Moke glared at him. "Go my ass, you useless piece of junk. Get out, both of you get out." Wu Wei felt like he had been granted a grand amnesty and scrambled out. Luckily, he ran fast, or else he would have been kicked by Liu Moke. After coming out, he was lectured by Wu Tianming again. Wu Wei wanted to advise his third uncle, but he was just like Liu Moke, someone who wouldn't listen to reason. Although he hadn't taken a photo of Chu Jinan, Third Wang had gotten one from his cousin. The photo was taken secretly by someone in their company. It was a bit blurry, but it was still recognizable as Chu Jinan. Wu Wei had no choice but to leave dejectedly and then called Song Yunfei. Song Yunfei was currently cooking in the kitchen with Wangwen. Upon receiving Wu Wei's call, she hurried outside to answer it. Wu Wei told Song Yunfei what had happened and reminded her, "Sister Song, remind President Chu to be careful. Liu Moke doesn't believe it and will definitely find someone else to teach President Chu a lesson." As expected, Song Yunfei wasn't too surprised. She still thanked Wu Wei. "All right, I understand. I'll remind him. Thank you." Wu Wei chuckled. No need. It's just part of my duty. Just don't forget to put in a good word for me in front of President Chu." "Don't worry." Song Yunfei wasn't in the mood to deal with him and hung up after a few perfunctory words. She then called Chu Jinan. In less than 2 seconds, the call connected. Song Yunfei said anxiously, "Chu Jinan, you have to be careful. Don't go to any remote places if you don't have to. Liu Moke found someone to teach you a lesson." Chu Jinan's voice was calm, devoid of any emotion. "How do you know?" "Wu Wei told me." Liu Moke looked for Wu Wei, but Wu Wei didn't do it. "I don't know who he'll find next." After a few seconds of silence on the phone, Chu Jinan's voice came through. Since when have you and that Wu guy been so close? Huh? Song Yunfei was dazed for a moment but quickly reacted. No, I am talking about something serious with you. I am also talking about something serious. Quote. Song Yunfei was momentarily speechless. Why was this man's focus so strange? Shouldn't he be worried about his own safety first? Was he suspecting her of having a thing with Wu Wei again? There was a long silence on the phone. From his end, Manager He's voice could be faintly heard. Little Chu, stop the phone call and come take a swing. Then came Chu Jinan's voice, speaking to Song Yunfei. Alright, I know. I'll be careful. Hanging up now. Before Song Yunfei could speak, Chu Jinan hung up. This guy, Song Yunfei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She felt like the proverbial anxious eunuch while the emperor is unconcerned. His mindset was truly good, so good that she was almost envious. Manager He stuffed the golf club into Chu Jinan's hand and whispered, play well, don't embarrass yourself. I've already embarrassed myself, you can't do the same. Although he had embarrassed himself, he wasn't the only one. He just missed the ball, while someone else had even shoveled up the turf. No one could laugh at anyone else. As expected, among these rough factory owners, few really knew how to play. Chu Jinan held the club in his hand, but unexpectedly felt a vague sense of familiarity. Manager He comforted him in a low voice from the side. Relax, just like usual. Oh, you've never played before anyway. Just take a swing, as long as you don't miss the ball. He no longer held any hope, he just hoped it wouldn't be too embarrassing. Just hitting the ball out would be a victory. Several bosses around them also looked over, especially the two German clients, their eyes filled with anticipation. Of course, they weren't expecting him to play well, they were just wondering what kind of hilarious move this person would make. Although the golf wasn't played very seriously, the two of them were quite amused. Because the playing was so terrible, it caught Feng Tianho's attention. He and two friends were watching the fun from not far away. One man said, these people are really interesting. They can play golf like they're hoeing a field. Another man wearing glasses added, they deal with machines every day, so it's normal they can't play. It's not bad to provide some entertainment for our foreign friends. Those two seem quite amused. The three of them criticized the small business owners, their words filled with a natural sense of superiority, as if they were watching a group of clowns performing. But in the next second, the three of them instinctively shut their mouths. Under the sunlight, among the crowd of people in polo shirts, the cheap shirt on Chu Jinan looked out of place. However, his upright posture, the calm elegance emanating from his bones, and his practiced grip and stance made that shirt look like a luxury item. He stood out like a crane among chickens. The surrounding small business owners seemed to become his foils, as if he were the leader of the group. With a clean and decisive swing, the small white ball whistled out, tracing a perfect slide fade arc. It landed with a backspin, rolling back 2 yards, and finally came to a steady stop right on the edge of the cup. The air went silent. Holy shit, someone whispered. Feng Tianhao and his two friends were also stunned in place, as if they had been slapped. The man with glasses shuddered, and the cigar in his hand fell to the ground. Too much attention. Manager He stood with his mouth agape, stunned for a good 4 or 5 seconds. The next second, wild joy flooded his face, and he slapped his thigh in excitement. Little Chu, that was awesome. Simply incredible. Although he didn't know how to play, he understood the rules. He didn't need to say anything about the caliber of that shot. Awesome was the only word for it. May God, das war perfect. The German clients also exclaimed in wonder. For them, that was a dream opening shot, a result they hadn't achieved in their entire lives. The boss nearby, who had just sent a large chunk of turf flying, leaned over and said sourly, "Manager this employee of yours is quite something. Where did you dig him up?" Manager laughed heartily, his back straightening as if he were the one who had made the shot. "Old Lin, are you jealous? Our little Chu is a piece of gold, he shines wherever he goes. He's skilled at everything from translation to sales, and I didn't expect him to be so good at golf too, ha ha ha." Manager felt more and more that he had found a treasure. Beside him, Manager Chow voiced his thoughts for him. "You rascal, it looks like you've really found a treasure." "Ha ha ha, yes, yes." Manager laughed sheepishly and turned to Chu Jinan, trying to change the subject. "Little Chu, have you practiced this before?" Chu Jinan replied, "I don't know." Manager mouth twitched. He was already used to Chu Jinan's way of speaking, and since he was in a good mood, he didn't bother to press further. The two German clients also came over to discuss techniques with Chu Jinan, even wanting to play around with him. Now, everyone except Chu Jinan was being ignored. The others probably realized that they couldn't snatch this business deal away from He Long, so they simply went to flatter him, hoping to get some leftovers from his hand. Feng Tianhao looked suspicious as he watched the man in the shirt not far away. "What's this guy's background?" The man with glasses beside him said, "Isn't he just a salesman from their factory?" Feng Tianhao snorted. "Does he look like one to you?" As the two spoke, Chu Jinan hit another ball. Although it wasn't as good as the previous one, it was already far beyond the level of everyone else present. The two friends beside Feng Tianhao fell into deep thought. The way this kid played was almost on par with a professional player. In fact, some professionals might not even play as well as him. Golf, a sport that was time-consuming, expensive, and heavily reliant on social circles, was definitely not a skill a salesman from a small factory could master. Let alone achieving the kind of effortless control Chu Jinan displayed, he was clearly a veteran. If he had come with a group of big shots, playing well wouldn't have mattered. But the problem was that he had come with these small factory owners, which made him seem very out of place, eerie, and uncoordinated. "I'll check on him later. Maybe he's some big shot who descended to do an incognito inspection." Feng Tianhao glanced at him. If he really were that kind of big shot, would you even be able to find anything? Feng Tianhao also felt it was unrealistic. Why would such a big shot do something like this unless they were bored out of their mind? So he believed that even if this man had some background, it probably wasn't that strong. Regardless, with no grudge between them, there was no need to offend him. The man with glasses smiled sheepishly. "True, let me just look into it first anyway." Chu Jinan's next few strokes further confirmed their judgment. The sense of superiority on the three men's faces vanished, and their gazes became much clearer. Once Chu Jinan finished playing with the two clients, Feng Tianhao took the initiative to go up and greet him. With a perfectly measured smile on his face, Feng Tianhao walked toward Chu Jinan and the others as they stepped off the green. "A pleasure to meet you all. I watched a few holes from the side just now, that was some great playing. This brother's skill level, you won't find a second person like him in Kengcheng." His gaze landed on Chu Jinan's face, he didn't even bother looking at the others. Seeing Manager Feng take the initiative to strike up a conversation, Manager He was flattered. He quickly piled on a smile and said, "Oh, Manager Feng, you flatter him. Little Chu was just hitting blindly, showing off his slight skill before a master like you." Feng Tianhao smiled and shook his head. "That certainly wasn't blind hitting. Don't be humble on his behalf." He asked as if making small talk, "This brother must practice often. I haven't seen you before. I wonder where you're from." Chu Jinan avoided the question. "I played a bit while studying abroad." Just now, he had been wondering himself why he knew how to play golf. It was like muscle memory. In the end, after thinking for a long time, he could only attribute it to having played while abroad. Feng Tianhao's expression faltered slightly. Studying abroad and working as a salesman in a small factory, did those even go together? Could it be his own family's factory? But seeing that the other party was unwilling to talk in depth, he didn't press further and smiled along with his words. No wonder you play so well. So you studied abroad. He chuckled and then shifted the topic slightly. Mr. Chu, what is your main role at the factory? Your boss seems to rely on you heavily. Chu Jinan said, I'm currently in charge of foreign trade business. Oh, that's perfect then. Feng Tianhao seemed to remember something. Our company has had some important export orders recently, and we're in need of talents like Brother Chu. I wonder if you are interested. As for the compensation, don't worry, it will definitely be higher than what you are getting now. Manager, he immediately grew anxious. How could he poach someone right in front of his face? He was gnashing his teeth in anger, but being of low status and influence, he could only watch helplessly while maintaining a forced smile. Fortunately, Chu Jinan did not disappoint him. Chu Jinan said calmly, Thank you for your kindness, Manager Feng, but I've already grown accustomed to Xinglong. Besides, my meager skills might interfere with your official business. I wouldn't want to cause you any trouble. Manager Feng chuckled. I understand. It was inconsiderate of me. Brother Chu is a man of integrity and loyalty. Manager, he is very lucky. Manager, he managed to squeeze out a smile. He suddenly felt that this kid was becoming quite a butterfly magnet. Earlier at the exhibition, he was singled out for praise by Manager Li, and now while playing golf, he was favored by Manager Feng. It was a good thing he had the foresight to tie him down with shares. If nothing else, this koi fish attribute of his was truly desirable. Feng Tianhao wasn't angry either. He had been testing the waters, although he hadn't managed to find out anything. He smiled and said, Then in the future, if there's an opportunity, we can simply exchange golf tips. We can arrange to play together when you're free. This time, Chu Jinan didn't refuse and nodded slightly. All right. This very image of being unruffled and composed made Feng Tianhao even more curious about his identity. Feng Tianhao didn't say much more. After a few words of small talk, he exchanged business cards with Chu Jinan and left with his friends. It wasn't until they were far away that Manager he let out a long sigh of relief. Then he said sourly, he even gave you his private number. This Manager Feng thinks very highly of you. How can your luck be so good? He even suspected that Chu Jinan's face was the cause of the trouble. Could there really be a face that appealed to both men and women? He looked closely at Chu Jinan's face. He was indeed handsome, but as a man, he long didn't feel like he could be attracted to him. Could it be because he was getting old? Chu Jinan ignored him, tucked the business card into his pocket, and walked toward the golf cart. Manager he felt he needed to give him a reminder. He lowered his voice and said, Little Chu, a man out in the world must also learn to protect himself. Chapter 54. How long have you been waiting? Chu Jinan paused in his tracks and turned to look at Manager He. What do you mean? Manager He's old face flushed as he laughed it off. Nothing. Just pay attention yourself, that's all. Everyone played until noon. After a morning of golf, the two foreigners were completely impressed by Chu Jinan. The three of them chatted away in a flurry of foreign languages all morning. The others couldn't get a word in and were all left out in the cold. At noon, Manager He spent a small fortune to treat Manager Chow and the two foreigners to a meal. In the afternoon, the two German clients proactively requested to visit Manager He's factory, which made him overjoyed. It wasn't hard to see from their conversation that Chu Jinan had already won them over. The cooperation was practically a done deal. Manager He asked Chu Jinan to accompany the two for a stroll while he went back first to have the place cleaned urgently. There was no other way, these two were going there too suddenly. Had they been notified in advance, there wouldn't have been such a panicked rush to go back and clean. Song Yanfei, having eaten and drunk her fill at old Madam Chen's house, sat on the sofa chatting with the two of them. The old madam no longer gave her the cold shoulder, though she still didn't speak to her much. Song Yunfei and Wangman added each other as friends. It was clear that Wangman was different from that Mr. Wu. She was a conscientious person. Taking a job in city was also for the convenience of frequently coming back to visit her aunt. Seeing that the old madam still had someone who cared for her, Song Yunfei felt a bit more at ease. If such a kind elderly person ended up dying alone, it would be too pitiful. Song Yunfei also learned that Wangman had actually attended university in C-City, the same school as her, just with a different major. Technically, she was Wangman's senior. However, Wangman didn't plan to work in C-City. She had come back this time specifically to prepare for her new job in city. Even more coincidentally, she was going to Vayu, which was the largest listed company in the province. Senior, I didn't expect us to have such a fate, meeting someone from the same school in a small place like this. Wangman was also very happy. She grabbed Song Yunfei's hand and said, "We can stay in touch from now on." Song Yunfei smiled. "Sure, I haven't been here long myself and haven't met many friends." Wangman said excitedly, "Me too. Then from now on, you're my friend." MHM. Song Yunfei was also happy to have made her first friend in this unfamiliar world. Wangman became a bit worried again. "Senior, once I start working, I'll have to trouble you to look after my aunt. If that Wu Qin comes to cause trouble for her, you must tell me immediately." Song Yunfei nodded. "MHM, don't worry. I'll keep an eye out for you." Wangman breathed a sigh of relief and thanked her sincerely once more. Song Yunfei stayed until the afternoon, only leaving the old madam's house when it was nearly dark. After buying groceries and returning home, she took Quan out for a bathroom break and a walk before coming back. Just as she entered the house, Song Yunfei received a message from Chu Jinan saying he had to have dinner with the foreign clients and would be back very late. He also instructed her to lock the door well and not to open it for strangers. Seeing the message, Song Yunfei muttered to herself, wondering why this guy treated her like a child. Eating alone, Song Yunfei didn't feel like cooking, so she went to the kitchen to boil water for some instant noodles. Sitting at the small table, Song Yunfei thought of Liu Mokei's words and couldn't eat more than 2 bites. A sudden flash of lightning outside startled her, causing the plastic fork in her hand to drop into the instant noodle cup. She stood up abruptly, grabbed her raincoat and house keys, and headed out. Song Yunfei took the bus straight to the place where Chu Jinan worked. The reason she came here, besides thinking of the last time Chu Jinan came home drenched in rain, was more importantly that she didn't dare stay home alone. If Liu Mokei could track down Chu Jinan, he could certainly find out where he lived. If Liu Mokei's people came straight to the door, she would still be a bit afraid. Song Yunfei got off the bus and walked to the front of a 24-hour convenience store across from the factory area. There happened to be a row of chairs at the entrance, where several men and women in factory uniforms were sitting, chatting and playing on their phones. Song Yunfei also walked to the far end, sat down, and started playing on her phone. She knew Chu Jinan was out socializing, but he would definitely come back for his electric scooter later. Thus, she didn't tell him she was there, only messaging him to let her know when he returned to the factory. After sitting for about 40 minutes, it started to rain. However, this rain didn't last long. It came and went quickly, stopping within a few minutes. Summer rain was like that. Sometimes it would rain several times a day. The temperature wouldn't drop at all. Instead, it got hotter the more it rained. There were still quite a few people here. People were coming and going on the road, and the fast food restaurants by the roadside were packed. She waited until 11 or 12 at night, as people in the industrial zone were leaving work in succession while others were heading in for the night shift. Song Yunfei played on her phone until the battery died, then rented a power bank to keep playing. It was almost 12:30 in the morning when she finally received a message from Chu Jinan. He had just sent the clients to their hotel and was preparing to head back to the factory to pick up his electric scooter. Song Yunfei was delighted and hurriedly typed, "I'm at the convenience store across from your factory area. Chu Jinan." Song Yunfei sent him a grinning emoji. Half an hour later, Song Yunfei, who was looking down at her phone, suddenly felt the light above her head being blocked. Subconsciously looking up, she saw a tall, slender man standing before her. He was wearing a white shirt and loose jeans, with his sleeves rolled up, revealing a portion of his forearm and long fingers. He looked down at her, his deep gaze flickering as it swept over the raincoat beside her. "Why are you here?" Song Yunfei gathered the things beside her into her arms and stood up, saying, "I had nothing better to do, so I came to bring you a raincoat. I felt like there'd be a heavy downpour soon." Chu Jinan took the items from her hands and asked another question, "How long have you been waiting?" Song Yunfei smiled. "Not long, I just arrived a little while ago." Chu Jinan glanced at the power bank connected to her phone. It only had 1 bar of battery left. Clearly, she hadn't just arrived. He didn't press further and turned toward the roadside. "Let's go back. It's very late." "MHM." Song Yunfei returned the power bank and went with him to the factory area. They got on the electric scooter and drove toward their residence. Sure enough, before they had gone far, it started raining again. Song Yunfei tugged at his sleeve. "It's raining. Stop for a moment and get the raincoat." Chu Jinan stopped the scooter by the roadside as told, leaned down to take out the raincoat from below, and handed it to Song Yunfei. He thought Song Yunfei wanted to wear it, but to his surprise, after she opened the raincoat, she tried to put it over his head. Chu Jinan tilted his head to dodge. "You wear it. I don't need it." Song Yunfei paused. "Are you going to just get soaked? The rain will stop in a bit." "Oh, just put it on. Don't end up catching a cold from the rain." With that, she pulled the black raincoat over Chu Jinan's body. Chu Jinan turned back to look at her. "Then what about you?" "That's easy." Song Yunfei gave him a mischievous smile, grabbed the raincoat, and ducked inside. Because it was a single-person raincoat with only one hood, the raincoat covered her entire body inside it. Song Yunfei pinched his shirt, her voice coming from under the raincoat, "Isn't this fine? Let's go." Perhaps because she couldn't see him, the sensation of her breath as she spoke, passing through the thin fabric and onto his back, was exceptionally clear. Chu Jinan's fingers gripping the scooter handles couldn't help but tighten slightly. Chapter 55. My darling, why are you so cute? "Let's go. What are you doing?" Song Yunfei urged. Chu Jinan secretly took a deep breath, twisted the throttle, and rode the electric bike out. Raindrops pattered on the raincoat, and Song Yunfei could hear them clearly beneath it. Occasionally, the horns of passing vehicles intertwined with the raindrops, creating a strange tranquility. It was very late when they got home. The neighborhood was silent, with only the street lights quietly glowing, and many tiny flying insects swirled beneath their light. It had just rained, and from time to time, they could hear the sound of raindrops falling from the leaves. Song Yunfei was almost asleep on his back, mumbling, "It must be almost 2:30 by now." As soon as she finished speaking, the electric bike suddenly swerved, and she uncontrollably fell towards the ground. Fortunately, Chu Jinan was quick, grabbing her arm and pulling her up, staggering back 2 steps. At the same time, the electric bike crashed to the ground. Along with the sound of the electric bike falling, an even more piercing sound rang out not far behind her. Song Yunfei was so scared that all her sleepiness vanished, and she immediately became alert. She turned her head, still shaken, and saw that it was a beer bottle, shattered into pieces on the ground. Chu Jinan had suddenly swerved the electric bike to avoid this beer bottle. Just then, 4 men emerged from the stairwell. None of them looked like good people, and all 4 carried sticks. The leader was tall and strong, with a large tattoo on his arm, and a cigarette dangling from his mouth. Damn it, they're finally back. He casually spat out the cigarette, raised his stick, pointed at Chu Jinan, and uttered two words, "Get him." These men had arrived much earlier but found no one home, so they had been squatting downstairs for several hours, simmering with frustration. Then, the four swaggered towards Chu Jinan and Song Yunfei, surrounding them. Song Yunfei had lived two lives, and this was the first time she had encountered such a scene. She was so scared her face turned pale. She clung tightly to Chu Jinan, gripping his hand, her voice trembling slightly as she said, "Chu Jinan, let's run." Chu Jinan clasped her hand in return and whispered, "Go find a place to hide." Although he was speaking to Song Yunfei, his gaze was fixed on the four men. After speaking, he pushed her away. Song Yunfei stepped back 2 paces, looked at the unmoving Chu Jinan, then at the menacing group of men. She gritted her teeth, turned, and ran into the distance. What else could she do if she didn't run? Staying there wouldn't help and would only distract Chu Jinan. After running some distance, Song Yunfei tremblingly pulled out her phone to call the police. The four men were all targeting Chu Jinan and completely ignored her. In their eyes, by the time the police arrived, they would have already finished their business. Two tall, thin men were the first to reach Chu Jinan, swinging their sticks at him. Their movements were casual, showing complete disregard for Chu Jinan, with no discernible technique. After all, Liu Moke had said he was just a low-class worker at a factory, probably stunned into immobility. When Chu Jinan dodged the sticks, the two men's hearts sank, realizing something might be wrong. The man with the earring panicked a bit. He didn't believe it and immediately swung a second stick. This time, Chu Jinan not only dodged his stick but also kicked him in the knee. As the man staggered backward, Chu Jinan grabbed his wrist and pulled him back. A sharp pain shot through his wrist, the stick was snatched by Chu Jinan, and then he was kicked away. Everything happened too quickly. In just a few seconds, the men hadn't even reacted yet. "Damn it, all of you, go!" The tattooed leader, seeing the unfavorable situation, rushed forward with his stick. A few seconds later, the men's cries of pain echoed through the neighborhood, one after another. Many residents were woken by the noise and opened their windows to peek out. They then saw a man, wielding a stick, beating up four burly men. The four men scurried around, clutching their heads, busy dodging Chu Jinan's attacks and unable to find an opportunity to fight back. It was as if he had eyes on the back of his head. Anyone who found an opening was hit back before they could even act. The scene became comical. He seemed to be playing whack-a-mole. The four men cursed Liu Moke in their hearts. "You told me this was a low-class worker tightening screws in a factory. Which worker has these skills?" They wanted to run but couldn't. As soon as they tried to, they would be kicked back and severely beaten. Forget about knocking out his teeth, now their own teeth were barely safe. We're wrong, brother, stop hitting us." Seeing their boss begging for mercy, the other three also disregarded their pride and joined in the pleas. Four large men, bruised and swollen, huddled together, trembling. Their former arrogance was gone, replaced only by fear of force. Chu Jinan also stopped, standing not far from them, his posture still tall and straight, looking at them indifferently. His scattered bangs were damp with sweat, the cuff of his white shirt was torn, and his arm was stained with someone's blood. Although he had already guessed who it was, Chu Jinan still asked, "Who sent you?" The men exchanged glances. The tattooed leader clutched his ribs, grimacing, his eyes flickering. "Brother, a misunderstanding, truly a misunderstanding. Is that so?" Chu Jinan slowly approached them, scaring the men into retreating repeatedly. It was President Liu. Seeing no way out, the leader quickly blurted out, spilling everything. "It was Liu Moke. He said you offended him and wanted us to teach you a lesson, to knock out your teeth and bring them back for him to make a bracelet." His voice grew weaker as he spoke, and he instinctively covered his face, fearing the man would strike him with a stick and knock out his teeth. Tell me his home address. All four were startled. Could it be that he was going to seek revenge on Liu Muke? What a ruthless character. The leader unhesitatingly betrayed Liu Muke and gave Chu Jinan the address. Just as he finished, police sirens sounded not far away. As they had expected, the police arrived after everything was over, but it was their business that was finished. Song Yunfei had been hiding in the distance, secretly watching, and once again, her understanding of Chu Jinan was refreshed. She touched her neck. It seems I can't provoke him. Otherwise, when he regains his memory, old and new scores will be settled together. If he were to strike her, would he slap her head off? Song Yunfei shivered. Seeing the police car stop, she ran out from behind the tree and quickly came to Chu Jinan's side. Chu Jinan, how are you? Are you hurt? Chu Jinan saw her worried gaze, and his stern expression softened. I'm fine, don't worry. As they spoke, the police arrived. Who called the police? Song Yunfei raised her hand. Me. The police looked at the four bruised and swollen men, then at the unharmed Chu Jinan, their expressions a bit strange. Song Yunfei briefly explained what had happened. The police asked the men, is that true? The four men nodded like chickens pecking rice. But they looked more like the victims. To ensure they weren't lying, the police also checked the community's surveillance footage. It turned out that these men had indeed come to cause trouble but were ultimately defeated. After taking statements, the men were taken away by the police. The neighborhood also quieted down. Song Yunfei took his arm and saw the bloodstains on it. You're hurt, does it hurt? Although the bloodstains weren't his, the bruises on his skin proved that he was still injured. After all, the opponents were numerous. There were always times when he couldn't defend himself completely. Even wild punches could kill a master, so it was normal for him to take a few hits. Chu Jinan shook his head slightly, squeezing her hand. It doesn't hurt. Let's go up first, it's already very late. I'll help you apply some medicinal wine when we get upstairs. Chu Jinan picked up the fallen electric bike. A piece of the rearview mirror was broken. He looked at it twice, sighed softly, and pushed the electric bike towards the charging station nearby. The two returned upstairs. The moment they opened the door, they saw Quan Quan at the entrance, wagging its tail happily at them. Song Yunfei's heart softened, and she was instantly captivated by its cuteness. She squatted down, hugged the puppy, and affectionately rubbed its face. My darling, why are you so cute? The little fellow bit and licked her hand, overflowing with enthusiasm. Although it was a rural dog, it was fluffy and chubby, with the typical yellow fur and white face, looking cuter the more she looked at it. Song Yunfei could finally understand why the boss had shown such a pained expression when he handed the dog to Chu Jinan that night. Chu Jinan glanced at the woman, who was completely engrossed by the puppy. Her promise to apply medicine to him had been completely forgotten. He watched for a while, and seeing that Song Yunfei still didn't seem to remember him, he silently went to the bathroom. When he came out after showering, she was feeding the dog beef jerky. Chu Jinan sat on the sofa, watching her. You're such a good baby, you didn't poop in the house. Here's another can of food as a reward. Half an hour later. Song Yunfei still held beef jerky in her hand, giving Quan Quan a command, shake hands. Quan Quan wagged its tail, its two fluffy little short legs hesitated for 2 seconds, then raised a paw and placed it in Song Yunfei's hand. Song Yunfei was overjoyed and turned to Chu Jinan. It's so smart. I only taught it 5 times and it learned. Meeting Chu Jinan's faint gaze, Song Yunfei's smile gradually faded. She awkwardly said, are you done washing? Chu Jinan, wearing grey pajamas, sat upright on the sofa with his arms crossed, looking at her expressionlessly. I finished washing 40 minutes ago. Huh. Chapter 56. Are you peeking at my chat? Song Yunfei hurriedly fumbled for her phone. Good grief, it was already 4 in the morning. Inevitably, she began to feel a little guilty. She stuffed the beef jerky in her hand into Quan Quan's mouth, stood up, and sheepishly went to grab her pajamas before heading into the bathroom. After a quick shower, she came out to find Chu Jinan still sitting on the sofa, as still as a monk in deep meditation. Song Yunfei was puzzled. What are you doing sitting there? Aren't you going to sleep? Chu Jinan looked up at her for a moment. His lips twitched slightly, but it took 2 seconds before he uttered 2 words, not sleepy. Not sleepy. Song Yunfei was stunned for a moment, but she quickly reacted. I get it, it's because of what happened earlier, right? Actually, I'm not sleepy either. I'm a bit hungry, though. Do you want some instant noodles? ... Why aren't you saying anything? Chu Jinan remained silent for a long while. It's nothing, I'm not hungry. Song Yunfei looked at him suspiciously. He seemed to have something on his mind, perhaps troubled by those men from earlier. She sighed, took out the instant noodles, and went into the kitchen. Although Chu Jinan said he wasn't hungry, she still cooked 2 packs. She fried 2 eggs and added some greens. Cooking them this way was much tastier than just soaking them in hot water. Song Yunfei trotted out carrying 2 bowls of noodles, placed them on the table, and then picked up the remote to turn on the TV, finding a random cartoon that didn't require a membership. Then she grabbed a cushion and placed it on the floor. It was inconvenient to eat while sitting on the sofa. Sitting on the floor was much more comfortable. She turned her head to look at Chu Jinan, thought for a moment, and grabbed another cushion to place on the floor next to her. Song Yunfei patted the cushion. Sit here and eat. Chu Jinan lowered his eyes and glanced at her. She was wearing a loose nightgown, sitting cross-legged on the floor with her hair tied up in a bun. The overhead light made her eyes sparkle. He didn't say anything, staring at Song Yunfei for 2 seconds before moving from the sofa to the floor. Perhaps the distance between the coffee table and the sofa was too narrow. His legs were long, and he couldn't sit cross-legged like Song Yunfei. He could only pull up his knees, leaving his legs with nowhere comfortable to go. To be honest, sitting like this was even more uncomfortable. Song Yunfei held her bowl, picking up noodles and eating to her heart's content. The 2 of them sat side by side on the floor, silently eating their noodles and listening to the childish cartoon dialogue, with the occasional sound of chopsticks clinking against the bowls. Suddenly, the phone lying face down on the table let out a ding-dong. Someone had sent a message. Song Yunfei and Chu Jinan turned to look at the same time. It was Song Yunfei's phone. It was already 5 o'clock. Who would be messaging at this hour? Song Yunfei really couldn't think of anyone, but it certainly wouldn't be anything good. Aside from a few recently added colleagues, if Chu Jinan saw her chat history with anyone else, it would be a death sentence. Song Yunfei laughed awkwardly. I don't know which client is acting up again. After she spoke, there was another ding-dong. Ding-dong, ding-dong. It rang 7 or 8 times in total. Song Yunfei swallowed hard and forced a smile at the man beside her. Chu Jinan looked calm. Why aren't you checking? It might be something urgent. Right, I'll check. Song Yunfei braced herself, mechanically reaching out to slowly pick up the phone and unlock it, pretending to casually tilt the screen away. Fortunately, it wasn't Bai Yu, it was that guy Wu Wei. I heard President Chu took down Hotzi's gang all by himself. That's incredible, as expected of President Chu. What followed was pure flattery. Song Yunfei could even imagine his fawning expression at that moment. Song Yunfei glanced at it, then suddenly sensing something, she slowly shifted her gaze to the side. Then, her eyes met Chu Jinan's. It's Wu Wei. He's praising you. Thinking there was nothing scandalous, she simply turned the screen toward him. Here. Chu Jinan glanced at Wu Wei's messages and then looked back at Song Yunfei's face. President Chu. Song Yunfei nodded earnestly. Yeah, he calls everyone President. He even calls me President Song. Your relationship has suddenly become this good. Song Yunfei had already prepared her excuse. Of course, it's because he wants me to help him win back Xiu Shuang. Even though he pretended to be a rich second-generation heir to trick Xiu Shuang into a relationship, he truly loves her, so he wants to win her back. Chu Jinan pondered for a moment and didn't press further. It seemed he believed her. He cleared the bowls and chopsticks from the table, stood up, and said, "I'll do the dishes. You go to sleep." With that, he took the dishes to the kitchen. Song Yunfei also stood up and went to the bathroom to freshen up. She wasn't sleepy at all now, and thinking that she'd have to take the dog out to use the bathroom soon, she decided not to sleep. She leaned back on the sofa and chatted with Wu Wei for a bit. She wanted to know how Wu Wei found out. Wu Wei told her that Liu Moke had gone to bail people out in the middle of the night and was furious. The men were found by Wu Wei's third uncle, and he only knew because he heard it from him. Hozi was the man with the arm tattoos, and everyone knew him. But these two groups didn't really run in the same circles. Hotzi's gang had gone to prison years ago for injuring someone. After getting out, they didn't want to work. They were lazy and just drifted through life. Wu Wei's group, on the other hand, was very ambitious. Their goal was to start a business, make big money, and surround themselves with young models. So far, they had already run a car wash and a barbershop into the ground. Currently short on funds, they decided to enjoy the end results ahead of time. Which meant picking up girls. They'd worry about the rest later. Song Yunfei suddenly felt they were quite something, actually having enough money to fail at two businesses. As she chatted, Song Yunfei felt a chill down her spine. She instinctively looked back and saw Chu Jinan standing behind her like a ghost, startling her so much she almost jumped off the sofa. "You scared the life out of me. Why didn't you make a sound?" Chu Jinan looked away and spoke calmly, "You were just too absorbed." "Are you peeking at my chat?" "No. Really." Chu Jinan didn't answer her, inconspicuously changing the subject. "Give me Wu Wei's contact information." "What for?" Chu Jinan asked in return, worried I'll do something to him. Song Yunfei opened her mouth to speak, then decided against it. She looked away and forwarded Wu Wei's contact info to Chu Jinan. "Sent it to you." Chu Jinan nodded slightly and sat on the sofa with his phone, doing heaven knows what. Song Yunfei sprawled on the sofa, grabbing a blanket to cover herself. "I'll nap for a bit. If you're still awake, wake me at 7. Chu Jinan tilted his head to look at her. "Why don't you go sleep in the bed?" "If I go to bed, I won't be able to get up." Song Yunfei yawned and closed her eyes. "I still have to take Quan Quan out to the bathroom." Hearing that last sentence, Chu Jinan's fingers holding the phone trembled. He shifted his gaze to the dog lying by the sofa. Quan Quan seemed to sense his gaze and lifted its eyelids, staring at him with those round eyes, looking at him pitifully. Its tail wagged back and forth slightly in a pleasing manner. Chu Jinan clearly had no expression on his face, but under his gaze, Quan Quan's wagging tail gradually slowed down. Finally, it drooped onto the floor. Its eyes became cautious as it silently looked elsewhere. Chapter 57. You are being quite scary like this. It rained last night, and today is a rare overcast day. The sky was covered with a layer of dark clouds, yet the air carried a hint of sweltering heat. Wu Wei, wearing a white tank top, floral shorts, and flip-flops, ran toward the entrance of the old residential area clutching soy milk and small steamed buns. Seeing the tall, upright man in a white t-shirt and jeans at the entrance of the old neighborhood, he shouted, "Brother Chu, Zed. Brother." He smiled like a pug, lacking only a wagging tail. Crucially, Chu Jinan had a puppy crouching at his feet. By comparison, Wu Wei's expression was even more fawning than Quan Quan's. "I bought breakfast, do you want some?" He eagerly held out the breakfast. Chu Jinan kept his hands in his pockets, glanced at the plastic bag in his hand, and a flash of disdain crossed his eyes. "I'm not eating." Wu Wei gave a sheepish laugh and tucked the plastic bag containing breakfast behind his back. The way he looked at Chu Jinan was far too intense, more excited than if he had seen a beautiful woman. This was Chu Jinan taking the initiative to meet him. How could he not be happy? He was already fantasizing about reaching the pinnacle of life and marrying a rich, beautiful woman. Brother Chu, why were you looking for me? He patted his chest. If you have orders, just say the word. Chu Jinan felt somewhat uncomfortable under his gaze and said in a deep voice, stay away from me. You got it. Wu Wei hurriedly retreated 2 meters and shouted at the top of his lungs, is this far enough? Quote. Realizing he might be a little angry, Wu Wei shuffled a few steps back toward him. Brother, just tell me what's on your mind. You were being quite scary like this. Chu Jinan asked, do you know how to trade stocks? Wu Wei looked as if he had heard a foreign word, his expression blank for several seconds. Trade stocks, brother, if you want me to fight, that's fine, but trading stocks, you're really putting me on the spot. I'm not the type for stocks. He muttered quietly, last time I bought a fund, I lost 2,000 and haven't made it back yet. Does Liu Moke trade stocks? Wu Wei froze for a moment then shook his head. I don't know about that. I can ask my third uncle later. It doesn't matter. Register an account first. Whichever stock I tell you to buy, you buy. Wu Wei froze again, and immediately after, he was enveloped by a massive surprise. Happiness had come so fast that he was a bit overwhelmed. Ah, is this for real? Chu Jinan looked at him expressionlessly. Wu Wei chuckled to himself for a while and then agreed without hesitation. No problem, brother. Chu Jinan's eyebrows rose slightly. You trust me that much? Wu Wei, absolutely, brother. To be honest, ever since you beat me up last time, I've been completely won over. I admire you to no end. In all my years, you are the first person I've admired this much. My respect for you is like... Shut up. Wu Wei immediately shut his mouth and stood obediently at attention. Okay brother, you speak. Go back and scrape some money together first. Tell me when you're ready. Sure, no problem. Wu Wei nodded solemnly, but after the joy, a bit of unease crept in. Chu Jinan taking the initiative to help him make money, it couldn't just be because he wanted to be friends, right? He asked tentatively, brother, besides this, is there anything else you want me to do? Naturally. Hearing that there were extra requirements, Wu Wei actually felt relieved. Tell me, brother, say it all at once. Chu Jinan looked at him for a moment and said thoughtfully, just 2 requirements. Keep a close eye on Liu Moke's movements and report to me at any time. As for the rest, we'll talk once you've made some money. This request was too simple for Wu Wei. He agreed without hesitation, okay, leave it to me, brother. I guarantee the mission will be accomplished. Chu Jinan tilted his chin slightly, signaling him to leave. Wu Wei turned to leave, but his peripheral vision caught the puppy at Chu Jinan's feet. He shamelessly turned back, placed the meat bun he had bought on the ground, and grinned with his large teeth, a gift for brother dog. When Song Yunfei woke up, the daylight was bright. She rubbed her eyes, feeling exhausted all over. It was the feeling of having slept for too long. She suddenly sat up in bed. Song Yunfei froze for a moment, looked left and right, and was a bit dazed. How am I in bed? Shouldn't I be on the sofa? No need to guess, it must have been Chu Jinan who carried her to bed. That guy, she told him to wake her up, but he didn't, and she slept until this hour. Song Yunfei picked up her phone and looked. Sure enough, it was already 2 in the afternoon. Just as she was about to find something to eat, her phone suddenly rang. She picked it up and saw it was actually Manager Zhang Tao. She didn't seem to have requested leave today, and she hadn't clocked in either. Song Yunfei sighed and answered the phone listlessly, Manager Zhang. Little Song, where have you been today? Why haven't I seen you? The lie came naturally to Song Yunfei's lips. I went to old Madam Chen's house. Come back quickly, I have something to discuss with you. Okay, I'm coming back now. Song Yunfei agreed, hung up the phone, rushed to the bathroom to freshen up, changed her clothes, and headed straight for the bus stop. Half an hour later, Song Yunfei arrived at the sales office. Hardly anyone was around. Only Li Shan was at her desk making a phone call, her face beaming like a blooming chrysanthemum. Catching sight of Song Yunfei's return out of the corner of her eye, a mocking smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Song Yunfei didn't bother looking at her and walked toward Manager Zhang Tao's office. She knocked and entered. Manager Zhang Tao was drinking tea on the sofa. Seeing her, he took a large slurp before putting the teacup down and gesturing for her to sit. Manager Zhang, was there something you needed me for? Manager Zhang Tao rubbed his hands together, looking a bit awkward. Well, Song Yunfei said, Manager Zhang, just say it straight. Alright, then I'll be blunt. Manager Zhang Tao cleared his throat and spoke carefully. It's like this. Given that your performance during this period hasn't been very good, you don't need to come in starting tomorrow. After speaking, Manager Zhang Tao pretended to rub his temples to hide his embarrassment. Real estate sales was already hard enough to recruit for, and new hires didn't have much value yet. More than half of the people left on their own before even working a month. There was usually no need for dismissals. Saying this out loud, Manager Zhang Tao felt a bit ashamed. Song Yunfei's eye twitched. Just for this? What else? Song Yunfei glared at him, somewhat angry. Then couldn't you have said it over the phone? You made me make the trip. She was angry about wasting 2 yuan on bus fare. And on such a hot day, she ran all the way here just for him to tell her this. Manager Zhang Tao glared back. How are you speaking to me? Don't you want your salary? There was still a salary. She hadn't sold a single house, yet there was actually a salary. Song Yunfei immediately put on a smile. No, don't misunderstand. I always talk like this. I was born with a loud voice. Manager Zhang Tao snorted. Song Yunfei didn't feel much internally. She had no performance to speak of anyway, calling and harassing people every day only to get scolded. To be honest, if it weren't for being broke and reluctant to lose that bit of base salary, she wouldn't have wanted to do it herself. Manager Zhang Tao said, You're still in your probation period, so there shouldn't be any, but I can personally compensate you with 500 yuan. Song Yunfei gave an, Oh, Manager Zhang, did someone say something to you? Manager Zhang Tao was silent for a moment and sighed, As long as you know. You young people, sigh, forget it. I'll have finance transfer the salary to you later. Just find another job. Song Yunfei continued to ask, Was it Li Shan? Manager Zhang Tao spat, She's not worthy. Fine, I'll tell you the truth, it was her boyfriend. You don't know yet. Most of the real estate in our Qingcheng belongs to Feng Joy. You know Feng Joy, their boss is a good buddy of President Liu. Don't blame me either. I had no choice. Having received the answer she wanted, Song Yunfei had no need to make things difficult for Manager Zhang Tao. Okay, I understand. Thanks, Manager Zhang. She stood up to leave, then remembered something and added, So when will the money be sent to me? Quote. Manager Zhang Tao's mouth twitched, and he gave her an annoyed glare. As if I'd cheat you out of a few hundred yuan. Get out. Song Yunfei curled her lip and turned to walk out. She had just paid her rent and utilities yesterday and was about to run out of money for groceries. This money really came at the right time. Song Yunfei returned to her workstation and packed her things. Over there, Li Shan cast another mocking glance at her. Song Yunfei was speechless. Was this some highly sought-after position? What exactly was she so proud of? Too lazy to deal with her, she finished packing her things, carried them in a bag, and left. Less than half an hour after Song Yunfei left, a white Maserati stopped at the entrance of the sales office. A beautiful woman in a white suit walked in. Li Shan, having a sharp eye and seeing the other party was covered in designer brands, was the first to rush forward to greet her. "Hello, are you here to look at houses?" The woman nodded and smiled. "Yes, I want to buy a few houses to rent out. No other requirements, just that they must be large, in a good location, and have convenient transportation." Li Shan was full of joy and made a gesture of invitation. "You've come to the right place at Jinlong. We can meet all your requirements. This way please, let me introduce them to you." Hearing their conversation, everyone else cast envious and jealous looks. How did she manage to get there first? Even manager Zhang Tao, who was passing by, couldn't help but walk over, just about to speak. However, the next moment, the woman suddenly said, "Why don't I see Song Yunfei? Have her come and give me recommendations." Manager Zhang Tao, who? Li Shan. Chapter 58, What kind of person do you take me for? Manager Zhang Tao and Li Shan were both stunned. They looked at each other, doubting if they had heard correctly. The woman looked at manager Zhang Tao, her expression somewhat displeased. "Song Yunfei, doesn't she work here? I contacted her before. Has she not come to work yet?" Manager Zhang Tao's expression shifted through a series of colorful changes. One moment he had just fired the person, and the next, such a big client arrived, specifically asking for Song Yunfei. That dead girl, why didn't she say so earlier? After a brief moment of embarrassment, manager Zhang Tao waved his hand and pushed Li Shan aside. He flashed a flattering smile and spoke first, "Little Song. She went out to visit a client and hasn't returned yet. I'll call her back right away. May I ask how to address you, mom?" The woman said, "My name is Li Miao. Just tell her that, she'll know." All right, Miss Li, please go to the VIP room to rest for a while. I'll go call Little Song." Li Miao smiled, nodded, and followed manager Zhang Tao upstairs. After settling Li Miao in, manager Zhang Tao ran back to his office and took out his phone to call Song Yunfei. Song Yunfei had just arrived at the noodle shop and ordered a bowl of noodles. She hadn't even been in the air conditioning for 2 minutes when manager Zhang Tao's call came. Before Song Yunfei could speak, manager Zhang Tao's slightly eager voice came through. "Little Song, where are you?" Hearing his voice, Song Yunfei got goosebumps. "I'm eating. What's wrong? Has my salary arrived?" That, well, a client came, named Li Miao. Do you know her?" Song Yunfei's hand holding the noodles paused. Previously, Li Miao saying she wanted to buy a house was just polite talk. She didn't expect her to actually come, and so coincidentally, she had just ordered her noodles and hadn't even taken 2 bites. She also knew what manager Zhang Tao wanted to do and said unhurriedly, "I know her. She mentioned buying a house before. Since she's here, manager Zhang should host her well. She's a big client." Manager Zhang Tao fell silent. He hadn't expected Song Yunfei to not care about this client at all. Now he was in a bit of a predicament. After hesitating for a long while, manager Zhang Tao finally said, "She specifically asked for you. How about you come over?" "But you've already fired me. I'm no longer an employee of Jinlong. If I come, wouldn't it make things difficult for manager Zhang?" Hearing her use his previous words against him, manager Zhang Tao was both amused and annoyed. He forced a smile and persuaded her patiently, "Just come first. When the contract is signed, you won't miss out on your commission. Didn't you come to work just to earn money? Come back and take the commission. Why hold a grudge against money? Whether you stay or leave then, you can decide for yourself." Song Yunfei certainly wanted the commission too, otherwise, she wouldn't be wasting her breath with manager Zhang Tao. She knew Li Miao had come to buy a house for Chu Jin and Sake, so she didn't have to worry about manager Zhang Tao or Li Shan stealing the client. That was why she was so calm. Since manager Zhang Tao had just fired her, she wouldn't go back that easily. Song Yunfei sighed and said, "Sigh, I just paid my rent and can barely afford to eat. How can I wait for the commission? I just found a job that pays daily." Quote. Manager Zhang Tao wasn't a fool either. He certainly wouldn't believe her nonsense. She was clearly bargaining with him. Thinking about how Li Miao had said she wanted to buy several units, he steeled himself and said, "It's no big deal. If you come and sign the contract, I'll personally give you 4,000 yuan. That should be enough for you to eat, right?" Song Yunfei was suspicious. "You won't deduct it from my commission, will you? Look at you, what kind of person do you take me for? Do I care about a mere 4,000 yuan?" Song Yunfei asked again, "Then what about Manager Liu's side?" Manager Zhang Tao went all out. "Don't worry, if you sign such a large order, the company has no reason to fire you. If he dares to bring this up again, I'll go straight to Manager Feng and complain about him." Since he had said that, Song Yunfei couldn't keep playing hard to get. If she pushed him too far, neither of them would benefit. She pondered for a moment and finally relented. "All right then, I don't have money for a taxi. Manager Zhang, how about you transfer the 4,000 to me first? Just get here quickly. Once the contract is signed, I'll transfer it to you immediately." Manager Zhang Tao said the last sentence almost through gritted teeth. He sounded a bit desperate. If the deal was signed, all would be well. If not, forget 4,000, she wouldn't even get 4 cents. "All right, I'm coming." Song Yunfei grinned and hung up the phone. She quickly shoveled 2 mouthfuls of noodles, settled the bill, and headed back carrying the plastic bag from earlier. Song Yunfei hadn't gone far at all. She was in the noodle shop right across from the sales office. Within minutes, she reached the sales office and once again received a fierce glare from Li Shan. Fearing the two would start a fight, Manager Zhang Tao hurried over, grabbed Song Yunfei's arm, and led her toward the VIP room. "Hurry up, the client is getting impatient." Manager Zhang Tao dragged Song Yunfei to the door before letting go. He knocked, and they both walked in. As expected, a familiar figure was sitting inside. Song Yunfei stepped forward quickly and greeted Li Miao. "Miss Li, I'm sorry. I was out just now and didn't know you were coming. Why didn't you call me in advance?" Li Miao smiled, put down the brochure in her hand, and tucked a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "I just happened to be passing by and remembered this, so I decided to just get it done." Song Yunfei nodded. "I see." At Manager Zhang Tao's signal, Song Yunfei walked over, picked up the brochure on the table, and asked, "Miss Li, have you looked through these? Is there any property you are interested in?" Li Miao said nonchalantly, "I've looked at them, but I don't really understand. You should just give me a recommendation. I'm buying them for my grandparents. I think they're too idle and want to buy some to rent out so they can collect rent, instead of them going out to pick up trash all day." Song Yunfei's mouth twitched. The hobbies of rich people were truly unique. "Then how many units do you plan to buy?" Li Miao thought for a moment and said, "I don't want them to work too hard either. Let's start with 10 units for now." Song Yunfei took a deep breath. She finally understood why Manager Zhang Tao was willing to spend money to call her back. Such a huge client. Song Yunfei suppressed her excitement and sat down opposite her. "All right, let me look for you." Li Miao waved her hand. "No need to look. Just find the property closest to my grandparents' home and bring the contract for me to sign. I have things to do later." Quote. Having met too many strange and difficult clients, she was actually a bit unaccustomed to meeting such a straightforward one for the first time. "Ah, aren't you going to see the houses?" "No, I'm too lazy to go. I trust you." "Then, all right." Song Yunfei took out all the materials and chose the property closest to Li Miao's grandparents. Li Miao was indeed straightforward. She didn't even look and prepared to sign the contract immediately. This made Manager Zhang Tao extremely happy, and he immediately went to print the contract himself. In a small place, Housing prices weren't high, and these weren't specialized units. One unit cost about 7 or 800,000, but she wanted to buy 10, which would be 8 million. Song Yun-fei could get a 2% commission, which translated to 160,000. Moreover, she would have exceeded her quota, with a 2,000 yuan bonus for each house, plus various other subsidies. So, as long as the contract was signed, she would get at least 180,000. Song Yun-fei was so excited she almost cried. After working for nearly a month, she had finally sold a house, and she was likely the fastest among the newcomers to make a sale. Although it was thanks to Chu Jinan. But she couldn't help but marvel at the importance of connections and resources. Just by showing his face, Chu Jinan could make her sign such a massive deal. She couldn't imagine what the world he lived in was like. When reading the book, she hadn't felt much. In her eyes, it was just a string of cold words, relying entirely on imagination, and she couldn't even imagine it. Only when she experienced it firsthand did Song Yun-fei truly feel how vast the gap between her and him really was. Chapter 59, Going Back to Accompany My Girlfriend. A total of 20 contracts were laid out on the table. Li Miao didn't even look at them. She picked up a pen and signed her name with a flourish. Manager Zhang Tao stood nearby. Every time Li Miao signed one, his excitement grew. He tried desperately to suppress the corners of his mouth, but they kept curling higher and higher. Even though he was a manager, he had never sold so many houses at once until now. The quarterly bonus and the year-end bonus were now guaranteed. After signing the contracts, Li Miao pulled a bank card from her bag and handed it to manager Zhang Tao. Li Miao didn't pay in full. It was all in installments, but she left those matters for manager Zhang Tao to handle. After swiping the card, manager Zhang Tao told Song Yun-fei to keep Li Miao company while he took the contracts out to process the paperwork. Song Yun-fei looked grateful and said to Li Miao, "Miss Li, thank you." Li Miao smiled lightly. "Why are you thanking me? I'm buying houses, you are selling them. We're just each getting what we need. Don't overthink it." Li Miao thought Chu Jinan was hiding his identity to pick up girls, and that Song Yun-fei didn't know who he really was. That was why she took this opportunity to build a relationship with Song Yun-fei. Rather than trying to suck up to Chu Jinan himself, it was more practical to get on good terms with Song Yun-fei. Although Li Jie was the vice president of Vayu, he was just a vice president. In the ranks of shareholders, his shares were at the very bottom, and he didn't have much of a say. Only in a place like Qingcheng did their Li family have some status. If not for this opportunity, they wouldn't normally even see Chu Jinan's face, let alone try to build a connection. Besides, Jinlong Real Estate itself was the Li family's own property. Buying houses was just moving money from the left hand to the right. They wouldn't lose much. Otherwise, Li Miao wouldn't have spent over 8 million without even blinking. No matter how rich someone was, they wouldn't play around like that. Even though Li Miao said that, Song Yun-fei was still very grateful to her. She had saved her from her poverty. "Miss Li, if you're free tonight, let me treat you to dinner." Li Miao hesitated for a moment and politely declined. "Maybe another day. I really have something to do today. I'll ask you out when I'm free another time." Song Yun-fei could see she really was busy and didn't push further. "Alright, then just ask me when you have time." Okay." Li Miao's eyes darted around as she pretended to chat casually, asking nonchalantly, "I see you and your boyfriend have a very good relationship. How long have you been together?" Song Yun-fei immediately became alert. She carefully considered her words while smiling naturally. "Not that long, about half a year." She didn't dare use Chu Jinan's childhood sweethearts story. Since Li Miao knew Chu Jinan's identity, she would surely have a way to find out about the news of his disappearance. If she told Li Miao that she and Chu Jinan were childhood sweethearts and had been together for many years, wouldn't that be a dead giveaway? Li Miao gave a thoughtful, "Oh, I see. I really envy your good relationship. She had only seen them that once. How could she know if their relationship was good? Song Yanfei, I envy Miss Lee too. You're beautiful and so rich. Lee Miao was amused by her. The two chatted idly as if they were friends who had known each other for years. Soon, manager Zhang Tao finished processing all the paperwork. Lee Miao also stood up to leave. I'll see you out. Song Yanfei also stood up and personally escorted Lee Miao outside the sales office. After seeing Lee Miao off, manager Zhang Tao appeared sneakily beside her at some point. Little Song. Song Yanfei was startled. She turned to see manager Zhang Tao's flattering smile and instinctively took 2 steps back. Manager Zhang, what are you doing? Manager Zhang Tao said with a beam, nothing, I just wanted to say you've worked hard. I'm giving you 3 days, no, a week off. Take a good rest and don't overwork yourself. Song Yanfei gave an, oh. This guy really knew how to do a favor at no cost. He said he was giving her a week's holiday, but in reality, he probably wanted to pull a fast one on Liu Moke and pretend he had fired her, right? Then I'm leaving. Manager Zhang Tao waved his hand, the smile on his face hadn't faded yet. Go ahead, go ahead. Be careful on the way. Song Yanfei left the sales office and got on a bus. Not long after, she received 4,000 yuan transferred by manager Zhang Tao. When she was signing the contracts earlier, she hadn't felt that excited since the money wasn't in her hands yet. But these 4,000 yuan were real, and her mood instantly brightened. She quickly dialed Chu Jinan's number. He picked up in less than 2 seconds. The guy was quite fast at answering the phone. Hello. Chu Jinan, I earned some money. Come back early tonight. I want to celebrate properly. Is there anything you want to eat? Chu Jinan's emotionless voice came through the phone. Anything is fine. Alright then, I'll just buy whatever. Remember to come back early. Okay. Song Yanfei didn't want to keep disturbing him at work. She got off the bus at the wet market. There weren't many people at this time, and the selection was complete. She bought a fish, 2 pounds of prawns, and more extravagantly, a pound of beef brisket and ribs. Chu Jinan had just returned after dropping those 2 clients off at the airport. Although he hadn't secured the 10 million yuan order, he had signed a 2 million yuan one, which counted as their first attempt at cooperation. If there were no issues later, there would surely be more orders. President He had mentioned opening another workshop before, and now that the contract was secured, he was urging him to put it on the schedule. He was only going to get busier from now on. Near closing time, President He personally notified everyone that they were going out for a team dinner tonight. Everyone in the office was very happy. It was rare that they didn't have a meeting after work. But then, a cold voice rang out abruptly. I won't be going. Everyone looked toward that workstation. Chu Jinan had already packed his things and was ready to leave. The smile on President He's face vanished, and he said irritably, You kid, you skip every team dinner. This one is your victory feast. It'll be unacceptable if you don't go this time. Chu Jinan's attitude remained firm. I'm busy today. Hu Yao glanced at him and spoke in a half-joking, half-bitter tone, he has to go back to accompany his girlfriend. If President He forces him to the dinner, aren't you afraid his girlfriend will storm the company tomorrow? President He's mouth twitched. Everyone else looked at each other with subtle expressions. Many people in the office couldn't understand how such a cold-looking person could be so love-struck. The key was that his girlfriend wasn't even that great. They all wondered if he had committed a murder and his girlfriend had witnessed it. President He sighed and said, Then why don't you just invite her along? Chu Jinan gave Hu Yao a cold glance, then looked back at President He. It has nothing to do with her. I really have something to do tonight. Since he had put it that way, they couldn't exactly tie him up and take him, could they? President He could only blame himself for not asking earlier. He could only reschedule for tomorrow. Fine then, we'll gather tomorrow. You're not allowed to decline again tomorrow. Chu Jinan nodded slightly and left work on his own. He rode that electric scooter with a broken rearview mirror back to the rental apartment. As he pushed open the door, the aroma of food accompanied by the cool air from the air conditioner wafted toward him. In the kitchen, under the dim, warm light, was the back of a woman busily and happily working. Quan Quan was circling around her feet, looking even busier than she was. Outside the window was the gradually deepening night and the city's bustle. Inside was the warm light and the scent of food. The small rental apartment seemed to have become the only piece of tranquility in this strange world. Hearing the movement outside, Song Yunfei poked her head out of the kitchen, holding a spatula. Seeing the man standing at the door, a smile blossomed on her face, her eyes curving. "You're back quite early. I'm not done yet." Chapter 60. Can you go buy some sanitary pads for me? After speaking, Song Yunfei ignored him and turned back to continue cooking. Chu Jinan changed his shoes, washed his hands in the bathroom, and also came to the kitchen. He glanced around the kitchen, his gaze finally settling on Song Yunfei's face. "Do you need any help?" "No, I've got everything ready." Song Yunfei scooped up some soup from the pot with a ladle to taste it, but found it too hot. She then offered the ladle to Chu Jinan. "Here, try it." Chu Jinan looked at the yellowish broth in the ladle, seeming somewhat reluctant. "What is this?" Seeing him dawdle, Song Yunfei said irritably, "Poison, to kill you." Chu Jinan glanced at her, remained silent for 2 seconds, took the ladle from her hand, brought it to his mouth, and took a sip. "How is it?" Chu Jinan nodded. "Tastes good." Only then did Song Yunfei nod satisfactorily, giving him a look that said, "You have good taste. I'll be a while longer. If you're free, take Quan Quan out for a walk first. It looks like it might rain later, so we won't go out tonight." Chu Jinan grunted in agreement, bent down to scoop up the dog from the floor, and walked out. Before he left, Song Yunfei added, "Be back in half an hour." "Got it." Putting the leash on the dog, Chu Jinan walked out, pulling the dog along. The size difference between the dog and him was immense. The medium-sized dog, next to him, seemed like it could be stepped on and crushed at any moment. After taking Quan Quan to do its business, he sat down on a bench in the residential area and didn't move. Chu Jinan looped the leash around the bench, took out his phone, and called Wu Wei. The call was answered instantly. Wu Wei's excited, fawning voice came through. "Brother Chu, what do you need?" Chu Jinan asked, "How are the preparations going?" "The account is registered. We're still raising funds." "How much have you raised?" 10,000. "That's enough. I'll tell you how to buy tomorrow." "Any movement from Liu Mokei's side?" Wu Wei said happily, "No movement. Yesterday he went to bail out Hosey and the others, got a warning from the police. Probably won't bother you guys for a while. Safety-wise, you don't need to worry for now. Just not sure if he'll try something at work." After Wu Wei finished, he only heard Chu Jinan give a non-committal hum. This left Wu Wei at a loss, and the call instantly fell into an awkward silence. "Well, if there's nothing else, I'll hang up." Chu Jinan hung up the phone, checked the time, waited until 30 minutes were up, then led the dog back. The food was already on the table. Song Yunfei was still stir-frying the last dish. He took the little dog to the bathroom and washed its paws. Song Yunfei brought the dish out. "So punctual. Come on, let's eat." The two sat at the dining table. Song Yunfei also took out a bottle of beer and poured it into 2 disposable paper cups. "Let me tell you, I sold 10 apartments today. That woman Li Shan was so angry her face turned green. Just thinking about it is satisfying." Song Yunfei handed him a cup. "Cheers, to celebrate both of us making money." Chu Jinan took the paper cup. It was flimsy, feeling like it would crumple with a squeeze. "Are these paper cups you bought?" Song Yunfei said, "Saw an ad a couple days ago, bought them for 1 cent. 2 in a bag. It'd be a waste not to use them. Quote. Alright, stop fussing about the cups. Drink up. Song Yunfei finished speaking and downed the beer in her hand first. Chu Jinan looked at her twice, then also tilted his head back slightly and drank the beer. She was about to pour a second cup when Chu Jinan reminded her, "Don't drink too much, or you'll get drunk again." Song Yunfei refilled her paper cup and said to herself, "It's fine. Who gets drunk on 2 cups of beer?" Exactly 3 cups each, and the bottle of beer was finished. Song Yunfei picked up her chopsticks. "Let's eat. I've been busy all, ouch." Halfway through her sentence, Song Yunfei's expression froze. A familiar cramping pain came from her lower abdomen, followed by a familiar warm flow, trickling down. The beer was cold. Song Yunfei hadn't expected the effect to be so immediate after drinking it. Chu Jinan also noticed the change in her expression. Seeming to think of something, his face turned serious. "Is there poison in these paper cups?" Quote. Song Yunfei clutched her stomach. She was in pain, but his words actually made her laugh. "I'll take you to the hospital." Chu Jinan stood up, ready to pull her along. Song Yunfei pressed down on his arm and said, holding back laughter, No poison. My period came." A flicker of confusion passed through Chu Jinan's eyes. "Which one?" Song Yunfei whispered, "Aunt Flo." Chu Jinan slowly sat back down, looking at her somewhat uncertainly. "Aunt Flo, is that menstruation?" Quote. Song Yunfei didn't want to discuss this with him. After recovering slightly, she got up and ran to the bathroom. "You eat first. I need to use the bathroom." Chu Jinan frowned, staring at the bathroom door for a while. 2 minutes later, his phone rang. Picking it up, he saw it was a message from Song Yunfei. Can you go buy some sanitary pads for me? Need 360mm and 420mm ones, pouting. Chu Jinan looked up again, glanced at the bathroom, then at the message on his phone. After a moment of silence, he finally replied with a single, "Okay." He got up and went out. After reaching downstairs, he called Manager He. After the call connected, Manager He asked over the phone, "Siu Chu, what's up?" Chu Jinan moved his lips, taking a good while before uttering a few words. "Lend me 78.